Hi, my name is Micah, and I am the peer tutor for basic nutrition. This is an online class, and so we had section one already due on February the 1st or 2nd. I know this is late starting videos, but they just recently asked me to do this for this class because it's a challenging class, especially since it's online and you really have to apply yourself and really discipline yourself in order to pass this class. So right now I'm going to teach you how to look at the class and all the stuff for it, like the syllabus, and let's do this. So this is Blackboard. This is the announcements right here. This says February the 4th, section 1 done. I should have all the grading finished by this evening, at which point you will have a total of 90 points possible. Double check my grades tab. If there's a 0 in any of the items, that means that it was not submitted, it needs to be done. You will not want to get behind. So, and then this right here, this says important dates to remember are 2/2, which is February the 2nd, February the 23rd, March the 16th, April the 13th, May the 11th, and May the 15th. Oh, the instructor information. So the instructor is Jennifer Holman, and her preferred contact way is through the email. So there goes her email. This is her phone number, her office number. Now this one is her office number, and this one is her cell number, I guess. This is the course syllabus. I'm not going to open it, but I am just showing you where to find that. And this right here is the book that we use to read the chapters. Okay, we can go to class hints real quick. This says secrets to success in basic nutrition, read me. It says log in often. It says if you do not log in regularly, they're gonna notify financial aid. So make sure you do that. And that may affect your disbursement. And she doesn't really take excuses in this class. So make sure you do all your assignments on time. And make sure you have good internet connection because it says this a bunch of times. It says not an acceptable excuse. So you know how important this is. So this right here is the due date, and this just shows what's all due and how many possible points there are. It says take advantage of extra credit opportunities offered. You have to log in regularly to find them. And then this is find feedback. So if you want to find your feedback, you just look at this little bubble over here by the points, and it'll just show the comment that she made. This is the calendar right here. You can find that. Look at that. Well, this is information, questions about the online class. This right here is important. It says, does any online class have an attendance policy? It says students who are enrolled in 16-week courses are expected to be actively engaged for 3 hours per week with additional 4 to 6 hours weekly on average. Okay, so I'm going to discuss. We can go to the discuss. So right here, we're supposed to do an introduction um, for a part. Well, I think this right here was the bonus points, and it was like due within the first week of starting classes. So we had to do that, and then this is your class talk. It says, "Have a question, healthy recipe, something positive to share. Post it here for all students to see. Class improvements." She wants just like feedback, constructive criticism. Um, and this is elaborating on journal topics. This actually helped a little bit for me because I read them and it helped me for one of our journal entries. We had to do something over like the culture and how just like the way you eat, like your food preferences is like kind of based on where you're from and your culture and like even like religion. So right here, if you like click on that, it'll take you to these articles that she found that were like relatable to our assignments. I encourage y'all to read those because that it's good information for this class. So I'm gonna so I just clicked on start working and these are the web links. And this was section one that we did. But right now this says section two, February the 3rd through February 23rd. So that's our time span of whenever we can do our assignments. So I'm just gonna go over some notes. There's also a book that she like strongly encourages to read, but like, and I do that too on my Fridays because I like reading. If we're being honest, I like reading, so I do that on Fridays. It's very easy. So right now, I'm just gonna read over the notes that she did. So, see, it states right here, read chapter 4. Okay, carbohydrates, simple sugars, and complex chains. Objectives. Understand the structural differences between simple and complex carbohydrates. Identify food sources of carbohydrates. Map the process of carbohydrate digestion. Understand the dietary recommendations for carbohydrates, dietary fiber, and added sugars. List benefits of a high sugar diet or high fiber diet. Sorry. The majority of American dietary intake is made up of carbohydrates, AMDR of 45 through 65% of total calories. It has been identified that the body requires a minimum of 50 through 100 grams carbohydrates per day, depending on body size. To prevent ketosis, and thus the RDA, or recommended amount of carbohydrates in diet, has been set for 130 grams. I'm just going to zoom in real quick. So I'm reading off this blackboard, like word for word. Okay. 130 grams per day. Plants make carbohydrates through the process of photosynthesis and contain carbon. Um, Hydrogen and oxygen. In recent years, health officials have attempted to develop recommendations regarding added sugar in the diet. The 2015 2020 dietary guidelines for Americans and the World Health Organization recommend limiting added sugars to less than 10% of total calories. For most people, this converts to less than 10 teaspoons per day. Side note, a 12-ounce can of soda will have about 10 teaspoons of sugar, and added sugars are virtually everywhere in today's diet. Carbohydrates are divided into two groups, simple sugars and complex starches and fiber. Carbohydrates are made up of saccharide units. You can visualize this as being one link in a chain. Simple carbohydrates, monosaccharides, contain one saccharide unit. Glucose, most abundant in nature, also referred as dextrose, gives a mildly sweet flavor, does usually not exist alone, but is joined to other sugars to make carbohydrates. In the body, glucose supplies energy to cells and is closely regulated. Glucose is virtually the only fuel used by the brain, except during prolonged starvation. Glucose can be stored in the muscle and liver in the form of glycogen. Fructose, fruit sugar, tastes the sweetest of all and occurs naturally in fruits and vegetables. Many food manufacturers are also using fructose to make high fructose corn syrup, which is used as a sweetener in beverages and dessert items due to its relatively low cost and abundance. Galactose rarely occurs as a monosaccharide in the diet, but is chemically bonded to glucose to form lactose, milk sugar. Disaccharides consist of two sugar molecules chemically joined together. Each will consist of a glucose molecule and one additional monosaccharide. Sucrose, known as table sugar, is glucose plus fructose. Found naturally in honey, syrups, table sugars extracted from cane or beets, fruits, and vegetables. Lactose, known as milk sugar, is glucose plus galactose. Maltose, composed of two glucose molecules, is formed when digestive enzymes begin the breakdown of starch. Maltose is fermented in the process of making beer. And so, complex carbohydrates, oligosaccharides, contain 3 to 10 sugar units and are held together by beta bonds, which explain why many of their food sources are difficult to break down and cause gas. Interestingly, human milk is also held together by beta bonds, and this is what helps breastfeed babies to have softer, more regular stools. Human milk is also said to be sweeter in taste than cow's milk-based formulas. Polysaccharides contain greater than 10 sugar units, visualize longer chain, and are found in foods such as starches and fibrous foods like many vegetables, pectin, and gums. Glycogen is stored glucose for animals, humans. Glucose can be stored in the form of glycogen in muscle cells and liver. Glycogen breaks down within about 24 hours of slaughter, so it is rarely found in food sources. The amount of glycogen stores depends highly on the activity level of the individual. Some endurance athletes will carb load prior to an event to increase glycogen stores by up to 20%. Dietary fibers are carbohydrates held together by beta bonds in which we lack the ability to break down and are fermented in the colon. Dietary fiber is lacking today's American diet. Health officials recommend 14 grams of dietary fiber for every 1,000 calories consumed, or on average of about 25 to 38 grams per day. The daily value for food labels are set at 25 grams of fiber per day and is the general recommendation. Fiber aids in bowel movements, lowering cholesterol, blood sugar regulation, weight management, and improved cardiovascular health. Foods that are naturally high in fiber tend to be very nutrient dense, such as beans, fruits, vegetables, and whole grain products. Carbohydrates digestion begins in the mouth with small amounts of salivary amylase that breaks down starches into shorter polysaccharides and maltose. Once in the stomach, the high acid acidity of gastric juice inactivates salivary enzymes, halting starch digestion. Dietary fiber actually delays gastric emptying and causes you to feel much fuller, longer, to feel fuller longer. This is one explanation of how high fiber diets aid in weight management as well as improve glucose regulation. In the small intestine, pancreatic amylase completes the digestion of starch to maltose. Specific enzymes digest disaccharides to monosaccharides, which are absorbed into the bloodstream via the circulatory system. Once in the bloodstream, monosaccharides travel to the liver where they can be converted to glucose or glycogen for storage. Undigested carbohydrates are fermented in the large intestine. Carbohydrate functions, energy source for kcal/gram, prevent ketosis, breaking down of fat for fuel, which can cause acid-base irregularities, dehydration, coma, and death. Spare protein as an energy source allows protein in diet to be used for functions other than an energy source. Dietary fiber, health risk reduction, regularity, weight management. By reviewing the FYI section of page 117 regarding glycemic index and what you have learned about higher fiber carbohydrates, it is easy to see that not all carbs are created equally. For a healthy meal plan, make the majority of your carbohydrate choices high fiber, 100% whole grain, fresh foods while limiting overly processed refined grains and added sugars. Okay, so February the 23rd, and it is the 12th today. So that's about like in about 10 more days. Okay, I'm going to zoom out. In like 10 more days, it's going to be about, well, not 10, 11. So in like, wait, yeah, that's right. So in 11 days, it's going to be, the deadline is going to come up. And so I personally haven't even like done my assignments yet. I'm going to open one real quick for y'all, just so you see how to do it. So this one says, most Americans eat far too little dietary fiber in their diet. Using an online search for foods high in fiber along with food labels, develop a one-day sample menu that would include 25 grams of dietary fiber. Be sure to include serving size. Would your menu be doable? And then the example is breakfast, 1 cup of raisin bran, 8 grams with milk. Lunch, tuna sandwich with 100% whole wheat, 5G, and etc. And so this is going to be worth 10 points. And the way you do this is you just go to create journal entry, and then you type in your answer right here. You pin your title for it. Or you can do it on like your Word, Microsoft Word, or even like Google Drive. And then you can go here if you ever want to just upload it from your documents. Or just copy and paste from anywhere. So that's how you do that. I'm going to cancel. So and so there's going to be 3 assignments. 1 food diary analysis, which is worth 50 points. And there's the section 2 quiz, which I'm going to cancel because I am not ready for that. So my recommendation for this class. Oh, okay. The way I study is I just like read the chapters on Friday, and then go all over these notes. The first section I did, I honestly printed off the notes and then I highlighted them. Yeah, and then for note cards, I just have a note card or note cards beside me while I'm reading, and I just like jot down little things that are I feel like are really important information that's going to help me during my quiz. And that's the way I study. I study for like an hour and then give myself a break, and then study for an hour again. And I do that like for each chapter. I do that like once a week because there's 3 chapters and then there's 3 assignments. Well, there's 4 this time. So for me, I plan on doing Journal 4 on Thursday. I'm gonna do Thursday. And then Journal 5, I'm probably gonna do that next week. Actually, I'm gonna probably finish the whole thing next week. For and also there's gonna be another video for this class next week, so I'm gonna go over chapter 5 and chapter 6 next week. Okay, it says it's not responding. So yeah, my name is Mika. I'm the peer tutor. This is an online class, so there's going to be challenges that even I'm going to face because this is honestly my first online class. And I was pretty scared during the first week because I didn't know what to expect, but it's all pretty kind of straightforward. So yeah, if you have any questions or any pointers, like studying methods, you can email the NASNATI because that's what department I'm a part of. I'm a work study and peer tutor. So the NASNATI is located in the Ollie building on the 3rd floor. In room 1318, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, we just encourage feedback. The okay, so that's all I have for this video. I know that's a pretty awkward pause, but I'm just trying to think of all the things I should cover before I end this video. So that's all I have from my side. Yeah, so if you have any questions, like, oh, I forgot to tell you my work hours. So my work hours in the NASNATI are from 2 to 7 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if you ever want to come, like, we have a computer lab. So if you ever want to come to the computer lab, get on the computer, and I can show you, help you, and we can probably even like work on assignments together because that's where I mostly do all my assignments at, is in the computer lab. So yeah, come up here or just email the NASNATI. We have other subjects in this department, like student peer tutors. So yeah, if you ever want to come get help in some other classes, we encourage you to do that. We want you to do your best, and we're willing to provide our assistance, provide ourselves, I guess, provide any help we can give you. So thank you for watching this video. Make sure you just watch the video next week, and I wish you luck in this class. Thank you.